would you learn about somebody if you're able to listen to every word they say?
Supposed to be another big snowstorm?
You're likely to hear similar voices every day.
Trisha Paytas.
Maybe be able to recognize those people and the relationships they have.
Hot pot night? Do they still do hot pot night? They do.
The ambient noises that surround this person might cue you into where they live, what they do for work. And eventually you'd pick up on daily routines.
4 little cucumbers.
But would you be able to take all of this audio and create something helpful? I've been wearing this little thing to find out if that's possible. It's a $50 AI wearable called Bee. For the last 30 days, it has had unprecedented access to my life, listening to everything I've said.
Just lost the pin again.
And heard. And a lot like dive bar karaoke, my time with Bee has been both surprising and at times lackluster. But what I've learned is that this device that's designed to help me creates far more questions about other people's privacy than my own. I'm Becca, I take tech outside. Let's talk Bee. Physically, Bee is a $50 AI wearable with 2 microphones and an action button that can mute the mic with a single push and has a customizable long push. It's slightly thicker than the S25 Ultra and about as long as my thumb, and it's made to be worn on you via one of the 2 included bracelets or in this lapel clip. And it works by transcribing every conversation it hears and then analyzing those conversations. You can also pair it with your calendar, email, and contact list so that it can better understand where you are and who you may be talking to. It then stores all this information and creates summaries of your day and to-do lists. And it has an AI chat feature, of course, that can help you recall details of your life or answer questions in a much more personal way. And then there's this sort of Tinder-style left-right swiping feature where you mark facts about yourself true or false so that the system can get to know you more accurately. There's also a voice assistant. That's what I set to be my long push, but since this device doesn't have any speakers, it responds via your phone. So, what's the temperature today? Also, it says degrees, so funny. Wait for it.
Today in New York, the temperature is currently 39 degrees F with scattered showers.
What?
Expect a mix of rain and snow throughout the day, so...
In theory, it is the perfect device for a forgetful person like myself. A little pin that can remember everything that has ever been said to me? That's a dream. But in practice, solely listening to a world in which it has never physically moved through, and then being able to gather, but more importantly, sort all of that incoming sound, that's a tough job. And the first hurdle is being able to differentiate who is who. For example, I don't think my partner Hannah and I sound alike. Do you think that we sound alike?
No.
But Bee certainly does. And while you can go in and manually add names to speakers, Bee often has trouble separating Hannah and me to begin with, so labeling them does little to help. And this confusion causes errors in its answers. For example, when I asked it what might be a good gift for Hannah, while it got some ideas right, it also suggested things that I've expressed interest in, or our friends have talked about. I've also found that any transcript that was created in a bar or any loud environment like a grocery store even is going to be wrong. And this problem has a name, it's called the cocktail party problem. It's the challenge of isolating individual voices in a sea of overlapping sound. And you can see that problem happening here. This is a transcript from a party I was at of about 15 people max, but Bee counted 34 different speakers. It's messy, and it's hard to pull any sort of meaningful information from. And then there are just some basic tech problems, like it sometimes loses Bluetooth connection. It can be muted and unmuted far too easily, like when it's in a pocket. But more importantly than all of that, this thing can get lost very easily. And I've lost it already 3 times in just 30 days with it. The first was the very first day I had it. I was wearing it around my wrist at CES, and when I got back to my hotel, the bracelet was gone. Thankfully, the folks at Bee offered me a new one. But a week later, when I was going through airport security,
Just lost the pin again. This time, an airport security bin. It's black and it just blended right in and away it went. But luckily, retrieved it this time, which is an improvement as to the last time when it was wiped off the face of the earth.
then the last time I lost it was while getting out of a car.
Just when I thought it couldn't happen again. Look what's missing from its holder. This little guy.
What this device desperately needs is integration with Apple's Find My network, which the folks at Bee tell me they're working on. I also think it could use holders that are just a bit more snug, or a notification on your phone when it disconnects from it. That being said, it's not all doom and gloom with Bee. First, the battery life is decent. When the device hasn't heard you in a while, it goes into a low power mode and seamlessly wakes once it does. With heavy use, which is the device being on 24/7, I'm getting around 4 days of battery life. On the software side, there has been some great moments as well. So before I went to that party that I spoke about earlier, I picked up 2 bottles of wine, and I ended up really enjoying them, but we left the bottles at the party, and I had no way to remember what they were. So I opened up the chat in B and I asked. And it reminded me that I got a red and white blended pet nat, so good, and also an Australian Riesling. And it taught me that when I'm using B, I should say the names of things out loud so that it can record them. B also creates an ongoing list of suggested to-dos that are actually quite good and surprising. It has picked up on the fact that I am traveling to Arizona later this week and Miami next. These are things that are important to me, but I would have never formally written down because they aren't my work. And of course, some of these suggestions make no sense at all, like this one. I'm not a foster parent, but someone I was talking to recently is, and clearly B got us confused. Which brings me to the first of two sort of major problems with B. If it's not 100% accurate on its own, is it useful at all? Take, for example, it not knowing when I'm speaking. I can go in and manually correct every transcript, but that takes a lot of time, and that's not helpful. But you see, if I don't, then it creates a huge database of false information about me, and false information also not helpful. Okay, but I've thought of a cool fix here. What if at the end of my day, instead of just giving me a summary, we had a conversation? And B asked me, hey, Becca, what an exciting day you had, because it always sort of adds these like fun anecdotes about your day being exciting. What a fun day you had. I noticed that you talked a lot about a foster cat. Is that your foster cat? Is that something you want to remember? Not only would B then hear my voice more and hopefully be able to recognize it better, but it would also clarify the data and set up a more helpful to-do tomorrow. B, you can have that idea, free of charge. Okay, but the second major issue that can't be solved by a personal conversation is what in the privacy hell are we dealing with here? So B uses a mix of AI models that include ChatGPT and Gemini to name a few, and while the device isn't storing audio, it is creating full transcripts of conversations that it then processes off-device. The company claims that its business model does not include plans to monetize your data, that no human can see the data, that it encrypts your data, and that it does not share any of your data with third parties. The company also recently shared this with me.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn on airplane mode. Bluetooth is still on, but no data, no cellular data, no Wi-Fi. And as you can see, we're still doing speaker identification, speech to text.
That's a demo of B running entirely locally.
So this is a total of 5 models running locally. And you can see even the LLM here is doing the summarization on device with the small language model.
It's really cool, and I hope that that rolls out soon. But it's actually not my biggest privacy concern with B. It's that anyone who has spoken to me, who has stood next to me and said something, has also had their data processed somewhere. And while I'm okay with that, they might not be. And here in the States, there's actually some states where it's illegal to record folks without them knowing. And I would love to see B do more education on the time and the place where this is right to use this and how you can better inform people that they're being recorded. Because of course there's like that argument to be made that all of our data is being processed all the time and there's facial recognition everywhere and so on and so forth, but there's a voice inside of me that doesn't wish to be a part of that data mining machine. And I just think B has an opportunity to educate folks on how to do this more ethically. Yeah. Especially considering how many of these devices are coming to market. A popular alternative to B is Plod, and it comes in 2 form factors. An $169 pill-shaped pod that's designed to be worn, called Plod Note Pin, and the $159 notepad-shaped card designed to live on the back of your phone, called Plod Note. While both of those operate similar to B, Plod allows for audio playback and charges a subscription fee based on the amount of transcription hours that you use. Both of these devices are heavily marketed for use at work. But then there are unreleased devices, like the $99 Friend and the $89 Omi, that seemingly work a lot like B and Plod, listening and transcribing, but also aim to be more of an AI companion, with the ability to react to your world in real time. Omi takes us a step further too, claiming that it will soon offer a brain module that sits on your temple that the company claims will be able to read your mind. I'll link both companies' incredibly creepy and truthfully pretty poorly acted marketing videos in the description if you're interested in seeing how each company imagines this all playing out.
I've never brought anybody else. I mean, besides her.
She goes everywhere with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after 30 days of this little pin listening to everything I've said, everything I've heard, how well does it actually know me? Who am I? You're Becca, a content creator and tech analyst based in Brooklyn, New York. You split time? It's true. You're passionate about technology. You have a pet cat named Junebug? Close. You're environmentally and socially conscious? Sure. Fun fact, while you go by Becca now, your full name was... Oh, I guess you'll never know. Now, if you're like me, the creepy marketing videos, the lack of any real privacy commitment, and the mixed reviews on these devices' usefulness hasn't stopped you from wondering if you should buy one. And for $50, it sure is an interesting device. And I've actually really enjoyed seeing what information it has gathered. But I can't say it has added any real value to my life, nor have I found it all that helpful. It's also worth mentioning that these devices aren't great for the Earth. I mean, number one, AI data centers take a lot of energy, not to mention the shipping, the fact that you might use this once and then never touch it again and it just ends up in a landfill. So before you buy it, either make sure that you're actually going to use it or you're going to pass it on to someone who will. But yeah, just keep the Earth in mind. All right, I've said what I need to say. Now I want to hear what you think of these devices. Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you down there. I'm Becca. I appreciate you so much. I got a really weird one for next week, so hopefully I'll see you there. Also, quick note, I cut the price of my Patreon in half. I just want to see more of you there. I do a weekly newsletter, I do monthly exclusive content, and all of my videos are there ad-free. So if you're not a member, you should join. Now is a great time. Okay, see ya.